that took Jay back to their rental apartment were key people to speak to. And as a result, I've now spoken in some detail to one of these men, Ayub Kasim, who was known as Johnny Vegas. And I've also identified the other male that was with him, but I've not yet spoken to him. Ayub has provided me with his account of what he says happened on that morning, Monday the 17th of June. He says he was on the strip, Jay wanted to carry on partying, and he said he had nowhere to stay, so he said he could come back to his. They say in the car they played music and chatted before stopping to get a drink at a cafe at a shop just prior to entering the mountains. He says he was driving, his friend was in the passenger seat, and Jay was in the back. They say on arrival at the rental, his friend opened the door, went into the left and went straight to sleep. Jay walked in behind, followed by him, and when got inside, they went upstairs, and Ayub then said to Jay, "Sofa's yours, here's a towel, here's a blanket, have a shower if you want." Jay asked for a cigarette, and Ayub said, "I've got some Camel cigarettes," and put one on the side. Jay then asked for a phone charger, and he said, "Go into my friend's room, he's asleep, take his charger, and you can put your phone on charge." There was no charging point by the sofa. Ayub says he then goes to sleep and he's woken by a buzzer. Ayub says he comes down the stairs. Jay says to him, "What's that annoying noise?" which was the doorbell. Ayub says he opens the door and speaks to a woman and a man, and they gesture that he needed to move his car. Ayub says he gets into his car and he's starting to move it, and he looks in the rearview mirror and he sees Jay talking to a woman. He's got his trainers on, so he's about to leave. Jay then says to Ayub, having moved the car, the woman says, "I can get a bus every 10 minutes. And Ayub says, he says to him, "Mate, just chill out. I'll drop you off in town when I wake up properly." He went, No, I'm hungry. I need to get a scran. And the woman told me I can get a bus every 10 minutes to Los Cristianos. Ayub says he replies, "There's no bus coming. This is my green door. If you need me." He says he shut the door. Jay walks away and he goes back to sleep. He then says he gets a call from a friend of Jay's who says that he's in a ditch somewhere and he's been cut by a cactus. The evidence still strongly supports that Jay left the Airbnb suddenly, walked for 30 minutes before wandering off-road, where at 08:49 and 08:50 on the Monday he dropped a location pin. However, as part of this investigation, we have sought to identify and speak with as many people that Jay had contact with whilst in Tenerife. The result of this digging has opened up an established criminal network with links to drugs, violent crime and theft. You will appreciate that at this stage I cannot expand any further on what we now know. However, at this stage I'm unable to say if this network has anything to do with Jay's disappearance, but remain open-minded as we continue to investigate. They will mark 4 weeks since Jay Slater went missing in Tenerife. Firstly, thank you to all of you who have made contact with information, either via email or direct messaging on social media. All of those messages have been read and noted. Overwhelmingly, people have wanted to share their own theories or tell us about something they have seen on social media or read online. I can assure you that we are monitoring the social media platforms and Facebook groups, so there is no need to contact us regarding anything you've read or seen online. Amongst these many contacts, we have received valuable information that we've been able to turn into useful intelligence and evidence. I would urge again an appeal for anybody who had contact with Jay in the last 48 hours before his disappearance to please get in contact. We've now had the opportunity to speak with or obtain information from nearly all the people that we know in the hours and days leading up to his disappearance. However, there are still a few we've not yet spoken to, and I would urge them to get in contact so that they can be ruled out of the investigation. Of those people we have spoken to, we are aware that not everything they have told us will be the truth. There are a number of reasons for this, including their own involvement in criminal activity. However, it must also be said that some of Jay's closest friends have fully engaged with us and discussed things that could cause them to be unfairly judged by the public. On the morning of the 17th of June, on arrival back to the rental, Jay spoke to a number of different people on his phone, and they would describe him as very much awake and still buzzing. As a result of information we've received, we now know that Jay took certain actions whilst at the rental because he was clearly worried about his own safety, and this was shortly before he decided to leave. In the last few days, I've received a significant new piece of information which I've shared with both the British and Spanish police. This provides some clarity as to why he may have left in a hurry and did not want to return to the rental even though his phone was about to go flat. I know the internet is awash with theories. Some are massively wild speculation, others have elements of the truth, but overwhelmingly many are just made up. We are uniquely placed, having spoken to nearly all the key witnesses, to cross-check their accounts and evidence, thus building the clearest picture. We know that Jay was on his phone and alone at 08:50 on Monday the 17th of June, walking on a track just off the main road, about 30 minutes walk from the apartment. It was a cold, damp morning, only 18 degrees, with a high of that day only reaching 20. The evidence we've been able to collect, including the significant new intelligence, strongly supports that Jay is therefore most likely to be in or around the mountains. We suspect some distance from the last phone location drop. Even after extensive searching done by highly experienced personnel, the rugged and dangerous areas, it's just not possible to rule out that he isn't still there. We've still not found evidence of a third-party criminal involvement in Jay's disappearance, although we have opened up links with dangerous criminal underworld of drugs and associated crime. We have a number of outstanding actions that still require completing and remain open-minded with our investigation. I would like to appeal again for any parties involved in their own searches to share their data with us so we can compile an accurate map showing the areas that still need searching. A case that's attracted worldwide media attention, of course, one that I've been very heavily involved in. Just over 2 hours ago, Jay Slater's family were called into the police station with an update. They didn't know what that update was, but they've now been given devastating news, and that is that human remains have been found in a fairly inaccessible area in the Masca area. Of course, this is the area that search and rescue teams have been searching. As a result of those human remains having been found, the early indications are, and the police are saying, that this is, they strongly believe, the body of Jay Slater. The indications are that that body has been there for a significant period of time. It's in a fairly inaccessible area, and they say that it is highly likely that, of course, if that is Jay Slater, that he will have slipped or fallen accidentally into that area. They now need to recover the body, and having done that, they will then, of course, undertake formal identification and then also any medical test to try to establish a cause of death. Of course, at this time, our thoughts are with both Jay's direct family